After so many centuries of waiting for the Formula One season to get back underway, we made it. Not only was it race week, but the race weekend has now concluded and the Formula One season gets officially underway. Coming into the season, there was a tremendous amount of hype since the previous season, 2024, gave us a tight grid, and this tight grid allowed for moments like Austria to happen, which gave George Russell of all people victory, Lewis winning again in Silverstone, Lando's charge for the driver's title, and of course, Ferrari's late charge for the constructor's title. There were so many bits from that season that makes this season one of the most hyped yet. And keep in mind, we didn't even talk about the many stories and the driver transfers that occurred, so it's fair to say that 2025 has a steep mountain to climb. Fortunately for us though, preseason showed us that the cars have only gotten faster and the gaps in performance, at least for now, doesn't seem to have increased. So with the potential for a tight season from start to finish, and this first race of the season taking place at a great track along with some potential rain, did this race cook? And who were the winners and losers from this weekend? Keep watching to find out. So let's get into it. And remember, if you want to experience these races live with my community, join the Discord where great fun happens, and subscribe if you're new or terrible things will happen. So enough yapping, and here is the winners and losers from the Australian Grand Prix.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
So let's start with the lead up to the weekend, and we get the usual stuff from the F1 channel, but other than that, really nothing. What's that? Rain? Yeah, apparently as of writing, Sunday may be a wet race, which sounds exciting. However, for me, I am pissed. Not because I hate the rain, but because my predictions I made for the weekend are totally thrown out the window. Not that they had any real credibility, but you get my drift. There was also the news of Oscar Piastri getting his contract with McLaren re-signed for the foreseeable future, which sounds great in theory, but if this means we're gonna get like 3 more years of papaya fools, boy am I happy I'm not a McLaren fan. But aside from these things, there were really no late stories or big drama heading into the weekend, so let's get straight into the first FP1 session of the year. FP1 would start and we'd finally see these cars in a somewhat meaningful session, which hopefully means no more sandbagging, and that was clear since the potential 4th fastest team Ferrari looked rapid. Thank God they were sandbagging. Speaking of sandbagging, Williams were maybe sandbagging like crazy in Bahrain. For some odd reason, Sainz is looking stupendously quick and topped the session for a good chunk of it before finishing 3rd. However, someone who was not fast and was actually very slow was Liam Lawson. I don't want to say I called it, but I think I did. I mean, yeah, it's just FP1, the first one of the year in general, but I don't know, man. All I'm saying is, at least Checo was good at the start of the seasons. Sorry, I'm hating like crazy. Anyways, time would go by with nothing happening until we got a mysterious red flag that no one knew why it was out, before we got a real red flag thanks to Oliver Bearman crashing. First rookie down. I hope this isn't an omen for Ollie, since no way he folds under pressure after what happened last year, man. FP2 wouldn't feature any big moments other than drivers testing the limits of the track and their skill. What we did see though was Ferrari actually looking not only fast, but competitive with McLaren. Look, I'm not coping, but I think we could genuinely win if strategy is good, which I know is not the most realistic of claims, but let a man dream. But yeah, it was just a typical Friday practice stuff with your lockup and understeer here and there, so let's move on to FP3. Babe, wake up, another Red Bull and Sauber comparison has dropped. But this wouldn't be the worst thing to come out today since Bearman, my brother, what is going on? Is Ollie the first driver to be washed before his first race? I don't know, man. I don't want to be pessimistic, but it ain't looking good right now, man. Speaking of not looking good, Lawson is not really doing much so far, which isn't helped by his engine already breaking down in the season. By the way, if you think about it, is this Lawson bad luck and skill not the biggest rep for Albon in 2019? Albon had 12 races before he joined Red Bull and got P5 from the back of the grid on debut. Compare that to Lawson so far. Yeah, the Red Bull car was quicker and the field was more spread out, but let a man hate. Anyways, there is really nothing else to add to this bit, so let us move on to the first qualifying session of the season. Q1 starts, and for the most part, this session would be normal in the sense that there were no incidents or anything like that. However, there were dramatic bits. Firstly, Bearman gets a gearbox issue, and the less said the better. Secondly, this field is tighter than my asshole, which means for some drivers, especially the first years, this will be difficult to even advance to Q2. For example, Liam Lawson and Kimi Antonelli. Both fell out of Q1, which sucks, man. The only 2 rookies in front-running cars out? Yikes, man. Q2 time, and again, nothing too exciting until the end where everyone got desperate to advance, which led to Bortoleto almost spinning and Lewis Hamilton actually spinning. Ultimately, again, no big surprises this time around, so Q3 time, and as always, it is tense. McLaren bottle at first, which allows Max to be on provisional pole, but McLaren gets their lick back by locking out the front row, with Max and George in 3rd and 4th respectively. For 5th, it first went to Albona in a mighty Williams performance, but in an even mightier performance, Yuki Tsunoda in the Red Bull second team V-Carb gets 5th place. All I gotta say is, Liam, you might be cooked for the season already, just maybe. Anyways, after a good quali session, we now have the first race of the season. Oh boy. Lap 1 starts and never mind, Hadjar spun. My word, dude, you're going like 2 miles per hour. How on earth do you fuck up that bad? Well, after 10 minutes, we now get underway and Max climbs up to P2 and we're stopped again. Fucking doing, bro. None of these rookies are seeing the final lap, dude. This is so tragic. Well, the safety car is out and Sainz is also out. Dude, I am speechless. I am losing my goddamn mind over here. Not even one lap, dude. Not even one. Anyways, finally, we get back to racing, and for a while, it'll be good, calm, wet racing with no major incidents or crashes other than Tsunoda, Hamilton, Albon, and Alonso being tried for a safety car infringement. Later on, Antonelli would almost spin and Verstappen would go wide, which means these inter tires are starting to die real quick. So, more and more racing with little overtakes and in turn, little entertainment until Charles Leclerc seemingly pissed himself and asked Ferrari, why is there water in his seat? To which his engineer responded wisely, must be the water. God, dude, I love this team. Anyways, while there isn't much action, Oscar Piastri would start catching Lando Norris in the rain while everyone else was behind. But in typical Papaya Fools fashion, they put team orders in the literal first race of the season. Bro, please let them race, especially because it's Oscar's home race, man. Well, guess they had a change of heart since they say to Oscar he's now free to race. But before we could see anything from that, Alonso would suffer CTE and crash, which brings out another safety car. This time, drivers would go onto the slicks with some opting for hards or medium tires. Well, of course, the rain would start to pour right when the drivers are all on slicks, which leads to both McLarens going off and so much more shit. I still don't know what happened. All I know is that the safety car is out again for Bortoleto and Lawson crashing out, and everyone is again on inters. Okay, back underway, and the guys will keep it clean this time around until the end. Lando dominates, Max dominates, chaos behind. We are back, everyone. All right, now that we recapped the weekend, let us see who the winners and losers are from this weekend. And as always, losers first, and we start with Oliver Behrman. Bro, you cannot be doing this, man. 2 crashes in 2 out of 3 practice sessions, one a heavy one and another one a gravel embarrassment. Your first weekend as an official F1 driver cannot go like this, especially when your first unofficial weekend went perfectly. I want better for him, and I have no doubt he will get better, but man, oh man, this is not hot so far. Oh, by the way, quali was bad because of gearbox issues, and the race was whatever, so add up a slow-ass Haas car and a bad crash-prone weekend, and you get Oliver Behrman as the first loser of the season. Moving on, we have Lawson, and this was pure skill issue. Whole weekend, this guy was not only slow, but also uncomfortable. Wonder where I've heard this story before. This is genuine Checo levels, and yeah, it's his first weekend, but still, you have to be an idiot to think that Red Bull would have at least expected this. They put all their coins in Liam to be that number 2 for Max, but alas, it seems they have failed once again. Yuki, this might be your time. Next is Aston Martin for the utter and embarrassing incompetence. In 1 year, Alpine went from dog shit to midfield competitors. Same with Williams. Why the hell are Aston still mid? If anything, I think they kind of regressed, because if Alpine, Williams, and even V-Carb keep their pace up, well, get ready to learn Q1, Aston. Or just Alonso in this case. Genuinely, how does a team with the budget of Aston Martin keep stagnating and not improving whatsoever? This is so sad, man, and fuck Stroll's P7 finish, I don't care. Finally, we have flat out all the rookies except for Bortoleto and Antonelli, since they mostly suffer from car issues. Dude, the other 4 had less than ideal race weekends that compromised them heavily, which sucks. None of them had a weekend to remember, let alone a good debut weekend. You know it's bad when Mazepin arguably had a better debut weekend than like at least 2 of these guys. I got nothing else to say. They will get better, and we do have to give them the benefit of the doubt since it was raining, but man, this shit was comical. Now for our winners, and let us start with McLaren. I mean, I got nothing to say. They did everything correctly, from staying competitive to actually being competitive. They cooked, no way around it. So yeah, congrats to Lando and McLaren. Can't wait for the boringness. Moving on is Williams, and bro, in between preseason and Australia, did they fill the car with ketamine or something? Pace like this off the bat, especially for a midfield team, is never gonna stick. I would imagine this is gonna be like a Sauber 2022 situation, but hey, we don't know that just yet. But genuinely, congratulations, since having both cars in the top 10 consistently and getting P4 in the race, it's fantastic, man. I don't know what else to say. Next, I have V-Carb and Alpine, and I grouped them together because last year they were fighting with Haas, and while Haas looked very mid and very trash, V-Carb and Alpine have surprised me. They look not only better, but competitive. I want to highlight Hadjar and Doohan since I was convinced they would be filler drivers no one remembers. Not bad necessarily, but just there. But no, thankfully I was wrong since lo and behold, Hadjar and Doohan are close to their respective teammates and are contributing well to their teams. We don't talk about the race, by the way. Speaking of, Yuki deserves some shout too since qualifying P5 in a V-Carb is insanity, and if only his strategy in the end of the race was better. Make the call, Red Bull. So good job, V-Carb and Alpine. Wish I could say the same about Haas. Finally, I have Max Verstappen for being that guy. Dogshit car, dogshit teammate, no worries since Max does his own thing. That car can be as fast as a snail, yet Max will still be in the top 6 of every session and a championship contender. I am a Ferrari fan, but Max is invited to the cookout since as long as McLaren fight, I'll take the victory. Now for my bonus category, and for the first bonus category of the year, I choose the basic option, the most mid driver or team this weekend, and for this one, I choose Ferrari since even though the race did show opportunity, we were just not fast, and it's embarrassing, man. Come on. We're not done yet, guys. We have a brand new epic segment, which is just looking at my predictions quickly and so you can find bingo card guy any spots filled. So starting with my quality predictions, and I guess I should have expected this from Ferrari. Now for my race predictions, and hey, considering how everything went, not bad for me. Finally, my random prediction was close enough. Now for your guys' predictions, and again, no way y'all could have predicted this. Like, come on, no way. Now for any updates on my bingo card, and nothing yet. And those were my winners and losers from the Australian Grand Prix. Overall, I am thrilled F1 is back, and I am sure future races will cook even harder than this one. Prepare yourselves. Or maybe I just jinxed the season, and if I did, I swear it wasn't intentional. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for their continued support, and make sure to join it if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out, and make sure to let me know in the comments who your winners and losers are. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.